Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Note Closer Show. I'm Scott Carson. I'm excited to be here today with you guys, as always, sharing some great information. Today is something I think that we're going to literally really get a good kick out of, everybody. I know that so many of us are rocking and rolling along, trying to come up with ideas to make some things happen. And I just want you guys to know that it's important. Hey, you're going to have some brain farts. You're going to literally not be able to come up with things all the time with your business and expand it. But I want to share with you today some of the best things that we have done over the past few years, actually going almost about 10 years now. So before I do that, you guys are going to want to probably grab a pen and paper. I did actually create a little bit of a PowerPoint presentation for you guys to discuss and share some of these ideas. I think visually speaking, it's easier versus just hearing me. And for those that are listening on the podcast, on iTunes, Stitcher, and those that neck of the woods, you'll be able to go to weclosenotes.tv and check out this video. But I think you'll understand it because I'm trying to keep this in very kind of bullet point ideas and sharing some of the stories behind it. So you're going to love this. I really believe that this episode is going to have a lot of fun for people. So just trying to pull up the questions and answer part of this aspect of things here. So I keep track of everything. Give me 1 second here. I'm doing this here. Let's do that. Okay. So anyway, going back to the show here. All right, there we go. I get my ideas kind of basically from 4 basic categories. It's going to be really, you guys will really understand this. Okay. Probably 5. Food, alcohol, food, alcohol, movies, holidays or events on your calendar, and sports. Those are the 5 categories that I get most of my ideas from when it comes to marketing on a daily basis or weekly basis, a monthly basis. So it's probably no surprise that that's the case for the most part when you see a lot of stuff. But literally, I'm going to run through a couple, 8 or 9 of these things that have done really well for us over the years, and I'll go back and answering questions for you. But I know when we're thinking about expanding our business, there's 2 things that we need to keep in mind. They're important. Getting in front of new people, and then also communicating with our existing tribe, okay? A great book, and I know I've talked about this before. We shared this on different virtual workshops and things like that. One of the great things that, one of the great books that you can read out there is Tribes by Seth Godin. And the second book I think I would also highly recommend is Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. And Gary has got a new book coming out, Crushing It instead of Crush It, which I'm excited to get a copy in here today or tomorrow, start that read as well. But the things that really come up the most in what we do are fall in line, like I said, those 5 categories: food, alcohol, movies, events on your calendar, and of course sporting events, because those are our 5 passions. And if you figure about that, 3 of those things are the most, well, actually 4 out of the 5 fit most everybody. Not everybody's a sports fan. Okay, but you can draw a lot of analogies from sports, but almost everybody is a movie fan of some sort. Everybody's got to eat. Everybody likes to drink for the most part. If they don't drink, they still definitely will respect you. Maybe just not in the morning. All right. So let's go through these slides. I think you guys will really, really enjoy this. So let's share my screen here. So I love this image of outside the box. If you think about ourselves as kids, I know that I love boxes. Yes, I'm a blockhead. But a couple things to keep in mind. When we were a kid, anytime you get a big box, you would jump into it like this kid. And I remember my dad, when my dad ran a hardware store, we would get boxes all the time. Refrigerators, washer, dryers. Christmas was always a great thing. What would we do? Well, we would create those and turn those into forts. We'd turn those into planes, cars. We'd stack the boxes on top of my little red wagon, and we'd drive through them like it was a wagon with Wells Fargo. A lot of great things. And we lose a lot of that imaginative spirit as we get older. I think you all agree to that. We get so bogged down, we don't want to play in our imagination for the most part. Kind of goes away. And effective marketing is all about imagination. If you can think outside the box, or you see something visually that stimulates you, or you hear something, the best thing I can tell you is, instead of going, oh, I can't do that, is say, well, how can I do that? How can I use that, what I just learned or what I just found to my advantage. I'm loving my new sign behind me here. This is kind of a new setup for the podcast episodes on a daily basis. But anyway, using what you like in your business. Oh, that sticks with me. That sticks. You know what I mean? So going on, the first image I want to share with you guys here today is blueberries. Now, what's so great about marketing and blueberries? Well, going back about 10 years ago, I was teaching workshops, and I got a chance to meet my buddy Greg Reed. And if you know Greg, he's the author of Think, Grow Rich, 3 Freaking Gold, and a variety of other great books, bestsellers. He's also in films, just great stuff with that, but a great speaker. I think he was just voted San Diego's most well-dressed man, or most well-dressed bachelor, whatever. But Greg invited me to an event that he puts on twice a year called Secret Knock. And I had him come out and speak, and he invited me out to this event, and I show up, and it's at the top of the Biltmore Hotel in downtown San Diego, and we're sitting there for 3 days. We're listening to speakers, very much like a TED Talk, kind of like a motivational aspect of things. Well, at the end of the first day, he brings up this brain doctor. I think Dr. Fannin was his name, okay? And if you've ever been to Secret Knock, you know that he always has some interesting speakers on there, okay? He always got some thought-provoking, definitely speakers, okay? So he brings on this brain doctor. He's talking about how our brains work and things like that, and then he shares 2 nuggets from it that I still use to this day. And that's my whole goal. When I hear somebody speak and listen to somebody speak, I want to try to get a nugget or 2 or 3 out of what I'm hearing them say, okay? I want to get some nuggets. So the first thing I heard him say was, hey, if you're even 10% dehydrated, your brain's only working at about 50% capacity, which means you're half-wit. And I love that saying, okay? The second thing I got from him is somebody asked him as he's walking off stage, and he's like the last speaker, hey, what's the best food I can eat for my brain? Okay? And so he said blueberries. He said blueberries. Blueberries, high antioxidants, are great. Now, I'm not eating blueberries today. I have a blueberry Red Bull. It's not the same thing, trust me, but I love blueberries. Eat a lot of blueberries. We buy them by chunk, and I love them in just about anything, okay? I'll even snack. I absolutely love blueberries. When I go and get my shake in the afternoons after my workout, I have them throw extra blueberries in it because it's a great thing. I don't know if it's making me smarter or dumber or whatever, but anyway. So I hear him say that, blueberries. I'm like, huh. And I asked Greg, I said, how many people were at this event? And there was literally 250 people at this event. So I'm thinking, what am I going to do? I was new. I didn't know a lot of people there. I said, I've got to find some. This is a great, great group. There was people that, Les Brown was there. I had a chance to meet. Sharon Lechter was there, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad with Robert Kiyosaki. I was sitting next to Forbes Riley, who knows who Forbes is. She's been on stage and sold billions of products and got a chance to meet her. So what am I going to do to stand out? Because this is a great environment full of investors. What am I going to do to expand this little note investors guy? So I went to the local David's, the grocery store where I was sitting, next to the hotel I was at, because I was literally down on the beach. And I go into the produce aisle, and I see these little canisters of blueberries. I'm like, oh. And this is like 10 o'clock at night, okay? So I grab a cart, and I start filling my cart up with blueberries, and they only had like 60. And I go to the guy who's stocking the shelves, and I said, hey, do you happen to have more blueberries in the back? And he looked at me like I was crazy. And he's like, huh? I was like, yeah, I need to get 250 packages of blueberries. He's like, okay. So he goes to the back, and yeah, we just got a shipment of 200. So I bought the amount of blueberries for the week. And, it was pretty cheap. I think it was like $2.50, $2 a bundle. And I was like, well, I'll spend $500 on it. It's great. So it's little plastic containers. What I did is I took them home, took them back to the hotel. I had these boxes, and I literally put my business card inside the top of each one of them. And the next morning, I showed up early, and I asked Greg if I could give away some brain food for everybody in the morning. He's like, that's brilliant. I love it. So there I was handing out canisters of blueberries to everybody coming with my business card, and everybody just absolutely loved it. To this day, there's still people that don't know me as Scott Carson. They know me as the blueberry guy. And that was one of the creative things that really helped set me apart, because every time I go back, they're, oh, hey, you're the blueberry guy, or hey, it was just a kind of a cool stroke of genius. Met a lot of people. Made a lot of relationships that weekend, especially the next day was the big party we had afterwards. So I made a lot of friends that are still called friends today. That was one of the cool things that I did with that. Now, moving on to that, earlier on in my real estate career, for those that are listening, I have a big picture of a pizza up here. Pizza marketing is a great thing that we have done multiple times. Now, we've done pizzas and brews, all right, get a bigger slice of the investment, stuff like that. We've used pizza as themes for meetup groups or happy hours or things like that. One of the things that I did early on is, this is kind of a pretty cool thing. I went to the local pizza joint. I think it was Papa John's, remember correctly. Papa John's or Pizza Hut, which was near that Papa John's served the area of Austin that I like to invest in. Okay, this is when I was buying a lot of fix and flips. This goes back over 10 years ago. And so what I did, I said, listen, I'm going to create a flyer. If you'll let me do, if I'll buy $5 pizzas. You give me your cheapest cheese pizza, okay? If for every pizza you deliver, you include this on top of it. And my thought was, well, if I ordered pizza in this area, they're probably budget mindset, okay? Or they may be in trouble. And sure enough, I started getting people that would respond to it, and it was basically costing me $5 a slice. It was basically $5 a lead. All right. Hey, like I literally put the flyer on it. Hey, I want to buy your house. I'll buy you a pizza to talk about it. And it worked brilliantly for a while and some things, so that Papa John's went out of business. Okay, they closed, moved on, and they got new management. They didn't want to deal with it. But that was one thing that worked really well. I printed up 500 things, and I had literally like 30 phone calls the first week of sending those out. So it worked out really, really well. That was a great thing. I still love pizza. Who doesn't love pizza? As I say, pizza is like sex. It's good even when it's bad, all right? So that was one of the fun things that we did marketing-wise. This goes back, and I'd forgotten about this, so I came across the old flyer that I had out there, okay? Wine. Wine is one of my favorite things that helps me market. We do wine in a variety of things, okay? And this is kind of a two-part slide. The second part will be for later on. But I've used wine to market my business for quite some time. I used to always get a custom label bottle of wine for any time that anybody had bought a house from us. We did fix and flip, or even a short sale, give a bottle of wine to the buyer of the property or the person that was we were buying the house from. I absolutely love it. You know, when I get a bottle like this from Quest IRA that's got my initials or name on it and the event, I love this. I think wine's a great gift you can give away to people, to your investors. I like to go to wine clubs. I think wine clubs is a great way to market your business because it's a great way to relax. It's usually a networking event. These wine clubs are meeting in the afternoons or the evenings. They often have, you got to have a little bit of money if you're going to participate in these wine clubs for the most part. So I love going out and hanging out. There's often live music. It's been a great thing. I've done this recently in a while, but in the past I've done this, and this was a great thing that we did to raise capital. Or sometimes I'd raise a couple $100,000 at an event, and I go there just to network and share it a little bit. And when people ask you what you do, I would simply say, hey, I'm a fix flipper or I'm a real estate investor. I still think that Steve Lloyd's comments that he made at the Distressed Mortgage Expo a year and a half ago about I raise capital for real estate projects is a great thing. It gets everybody interested. Because when you have a few drinks, people embellish themselves a lot of time. Oh, I want to do this, or I really want to do this. Tell me more about that business. Let's face it. Real estate investing is a sexy side entrepreneur business. I mean, it's really sexy. And you want to utilize that if you can in your marketing. Hey, I enjoy it. I mean, I don't care if you're doing one deal or you've done 100 deals a year. You're doing something. You're taking steps that 95% of people aren't going to do. They're not going to take that first step. They're not going to make offers. So get out. Come and buy a couple bottles of wine. We use wine. I've used this with our mastermind event before. We had one in San Antonio here. And we went and got some custom bottled wine for everybody. We went and bottled it, and then we labeled it and gave it to everybody as a gift for the event. We've gone to Napa. So wine is a big thing. I think it's a lot of people love, a lot of people appreciate it, and we're obviously going to have to do it again at some point. So it's a great little tool there for you guys to use, okay? People love it. Even if they don't use it, it's something they can use for Christmas or giveaways as well, okay? Next, though, this is a good thing. I call this slide Angels and Coconuts. So going back, sometimes bad publicity is good press, okay? So going back to Secret Knock, I got two pictures up here if you're listening. One has me in angel wings and wearing a lime green tutu around my waist on the front of the stage. And the other picture has me wearing one of those cooking vests with women with coconuts and laser around my neck and my head. So this goes kind of to Secret Knock. As you evolve with a lot of your vendors and friends and stuff like that, sometimes you'll make bets. And Greg Reed loves to make bets. He loves to win, and I was a lovable loser. We made a bet about bowling or something like that, and I think the bet was when we were bowling is whoever won would wear a shirt for 24 hours at Greg's next event and say, if I won, Greg would wear, I'm Scott's bitch. Well, he won, so I had to wear whatever he wanted to do for the 2 days. So the first day I show up, I'm wearing a white shirt, and he pulls out these literally 8 o'clock in the morning in front of 200 plus people, high networking event. I get pulled up on stage and I put on this tutu and angel wings. And sure enough, I'm talking first thing in the morning. I'm one of the major sponsors for the event. I just turned it into the angel investor for the weekend. Okay. I was able to laugh at myself, laugh at everything. People love come taking photos with me. It turned out to be a really great marketing event because it also stood out as well. The second day I show up, and Greg, obviously, he's got the tutus ready for me. So he makes me wear this in front of the stage. Once again, I'm a lovable loser with that aspect for the weekend, but it turned out to be a great marketing ploy because then Sharon Lecter's coming up, and got a chance to visit with Sharon some and talk with her about what's going on in the note industry, and she had some friends that need some help and things like that. So that was really kind of a cool thing. I will tell you this, it's very surprising when you put on fake coconuts how touchy women get with you. All right. I think I was sexually harassed probably a dozen times that day with that stuff, but you know what, it's in good fun. Anytime you can poke fun at yourself, it's okay. Yes. Does that put you in front of the crowd? Yes, it does. But you have to realize you're your best promoter for your business. And I like having fun. And that often, if I can laugh and get people laughing, it often brings a wall down. It often leads to conversation. It often leads just to people saying, okay, if this guy's not scared of embarrassing stuff, I got to find out what he's doing. Or if this girl's not embarrassed of stuff. That's why I say it's okay to embarrass yourself. It's okay to poke fun at yourself. It's okay to be goofy in today's serious world. All right. And I'm probably a little less serious than most people probably should be. And that's okay. I am what I am. If you like it, you don't like it, great. Another thing we've done at different events that was actually relatively inexpensive, noteworthy in Vegas a couple years ago. We brought in an Elvis impersonator and 2 showgirls. It was cost me $1,500 for him to be there for the hour, but it was such a great thing. We had Elvis impersonator sing 3 songs to kick off Noteworthy, and then the showgirls escorted us down the aisle as the speakers, and they were around to take pictures with everybody for a couple hours or an hour and a half. Just a great thing to do. It adds a little bit level. It's going that extra step that most people don't do, because a lot of people, you think about it, the mayor of Vegas used to have 2 showgirls that would go around him all the time. That's what you're thinking about. If you can do anything like that, we've looked at bringing in cheerleaders at events or drum lines, things like that. Anything to spice up what's going on. It just adds a little bit of gusto to the event. Live music, or if you can have great music, it's kicking. Just try to have fun with it. That's why when we have our Note Night in America webinars, I'm always trying to pump music in initially for those that are listening in, because it gets the energy up, it keeps people awake versus going on another boring webinar that people often tune off in after 30 minutes. Okay? So let's move on here. Speaking of Vegas, I love Vegas, and I get some of my best ideas when I'm in Vegas. And it's not because I'm drinking, although some of the time I am. It's just that I love the showmanship of Vegas. I love some of the fun things that go on. And one of the best shows that we went to, they got some great ideas from, it's no longer around. Some that I used, and some were so good that I couldn't use it because it would be car crossing the line. You can only get away with it in Vegas. A couple years ago, went to the Cosmopolitan, and they had a show going called Rose Rabbit Line. It was a variety show. Obviously, it was comical. They had people dancing, sideshows. Very, very great show. I loved it. We actually saw it a couple times before it went out of business. And some of those performers have moved around. A couple of them moved over to Absinthe at the Caesar's Palace and whatever thing. But this had a comedy troupe, 2 of the people that were in it. And they talked about, this one lady comes out and she's like, I'm looking for ass. Okay. And I was like, what did she just say? And she's I'm looking to help people get more ass. I'm looking for people to assist, strategize, and support. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I could literally remember pulling out my cell phone, texting myself that. I was like, that's a great thing to get people to go, uh-huh. And sure enough, I've used that twice with our Monday notes, usually about 1 year, 2 years apart. The first time I used it, it was for a workshop we were hosting in St. Louis. Hey, get some more ass in St. Louis. And the open rates in that email was great. A lot of people loved it. I got a lot of great comments from people. I had a few people that haters, but the haters, they're going to hate anyway. So I just got rid of them. Didn't really worry about it. Let them move on. But the assist, strategize, support, we use this quite a bit. Couple times. Always goes well. It's a little bit of a shocker. It's a little bit of a shocker, but it's enough of a shocker that's humorous. Now, if some people don't like it, look, I'm not afraid to lose a few subscribers with our emails. I'm not afraid of that because those people aren't going to be the ones that are going to invest. They're going to be the ones that are buying. They're not going to be the ones that are selling. They're the ones that are going to be funding. So it's okay not to have everybody like you. I give you permission not to be liked, okay? But doggone it, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. All right, okay? But that's the thing. All right, I see these things. Anytime I go to a show or something like that, these guys have spent thousands and sometimes millions of dollars helping them market their events in Vegas because we know it's a big event. So I always like to take what I can. We've used, the sexy side of real estate and had a girl from Fiverr who was all dressed up and she was dancing and flipping cards and marketing an event before, marketing a deal. It just gets everybody to look at stuff. That's what you ultimately want with your marketing. It's outside the box versus just look at my deal, look at my deal, look at my deal. Okay? Next thing that we have used in the best. Oh, I love movies. All right? We talked about movies being a big thing. One of the best things that we did in 2015 when the first one came out was the 50 Shades of Grey is we did 50 Shades of Notes. Once again, we took a movie, a little controversy on it. We adapted it to the note business. 50 Shades of Notes, as you can see on there. Changed the title. We sent that out. Boom. Highest open rate ever. Got a few complaints, but that's okay. Another one that we did was advertising. I remember literally being in Vegas. I was spending a lot of time in Vegas, but walking through the Venetians, and I came up with the idea for instead of the Avengers Civil War to do the Note Civil War, first versus seconds. And got on the phone. We had an image created like this quickly, where all we did was edit the bottom part of it, where it was Note Civil War, Default America. We had the date for the webinar. We called my buddy Faquan, who's in seconds. I said, let's get on. Boom. It was probably the highest attended. It was the highest attended for a while. I think it's still the highest attended webinar we've done. Last Monday night was pretty close to it. I have to look at the numbers, but great turnout. It was just two guys, and then we had a moderator in the middle asking questions as the three of us kind of went back and forth. But it was really just a different thing. A lot of people, oh, that's awesome. They loved it. Obviously, Marvel, Avengers, Iron Man, Captain America. You use those things because they're well liked. People will take notice of those things, and that helps you in your marketing. Now, could somebody say, "Oh, you're using our image"? Yeah, I guess you could say that. We tweak it up a little bit and go from there. All right. Obviously, over my shoulder here, I've used the Note Funding link. We've changed it up at least 10%, so we can give it using the logos and stuff like that. All right. Another thing is when you look at, I used images like this, 4 days of Note Camp in October. I'm going to need to buy more chimichangas. One of the things we did two Valentine's ago is when they had Fall in Love and Valentine's Day, Fall in Love with Notes this weekend. We use movies, we use holidays to literally entice people coming in. And we got a lot of people like, what is this Note Camp thing? What is this Note stuff? We see Deadpool, we see this other stuff. What is it that you're really doing? And it's led to us raising quite a bit of capital and attracting some great clients. Okay. Another thing is I like kind of being the pain in the ass sometimes. All right. And 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now, we were attending Paper Source in Las Vegas. And you guys know that Bill Macaro, who's actually going to be on the podcast on February 13th, he doesn't like to have anybody speaking who has any type of coaching program. I was like, there's got to be something available. And he'd already had his dinner sponsor. So you know what? Let's do a happy hour. Let's just do a happy hour in another part of the casino. Another room. We'll leave it open. And, people can come, they cannot come, whatever. It won't be an official event, but it'll just be a fun thing. Plenty of people do this at other events. They'll host their own happy hour and things like that. So I reached out to the casino. They had a spot around the corner. I was like, okay, here's what it's going to cost. We had this many people there. We're buying the first round of drinks or second round of drinks. What's it going to cost? I was like, oh, it's going to cost a couple grand. I said, so I reached out to my friends over there. Gemini Capital Managers, reached out to Jack Krupe. I reached out to Joel Markovitz, who was at BP Law Group at the time. And of course, Mark Gold with Noteworks. Hey, you guys want to co-sponsor a happy hour? And sure enough, there it did. So by bringing on three other vendors, 3 other friends, it became very affordable at that point. And so we had about 200 people show up. We had actually gotten some T-shirts made that were just inverse investments. This was when the chive thing was going well. Stay calm and invest on. Great T-shirt. I still see people out there wearing it today. But we gave T-shirts to everybody that came in the show. It was a great kind of marketing ploy. And what was funny is the lunch on the second day. Everybody's at lunch together. It's a catered lunch there. Is that they announced a happy hour. It's not being official, but then I got up and was recognized. So it was kind of a in your face when 3 out of 4 people were recognized. I got recognized because we created. So it was a little something, a little bit. And what's funny is Bill and his wife Allison were the last people to leave the happy hour that day. So kind of a way like, listen, I know you may not want me to speak on here, but we're going to find a way to fit some things in. We've done this 2 or 3 times with other happy hours at events and sponsored things, literally trying to get people, anytime you get people networking or talking or showing up, they appreciate a drink. Okay. One of the things we did, this is kind of probably the fastest thing that we have come up with. For those who've been around a while, know that we were a big promoter for National Social Media Day Austin last June 30th, which was on a Friday, and our friends Christy and Elijah White's got that approved by the city of Austin. You know that we're working on something for National Social Media Day here this next June as well. Well, they were looking for sponsors, and it's okay. Sure, be glad to sponsor. And like literally the week before, Christy's like, hey, do you have anything you can throw in the grab bag or goodie bag for the speakers or giveaways for the people that come to the event? I'm like, I don't know. It's like a week before. I didn't have any books. I didn't have any swag really created laying around. I said, well, tell me what everybody else is doing. And so some people are giving like, a fanny belt, a fanny pack, or a corkscrew. And the corkscrew came to my mind. I was like, I thought back to one of my earlier things. I'm like, okay, let me check. So I went immediately to the liquor store, Twin Liquors, and I talked to my guy Robert there. And I said, Robert, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. Do you have any champagne or something that's not too expensive, but still decent that we can buy a case, 25, 30 bottles of it? He's like, yeah, you have this bottle, I got this nice Prosecco. It's like $9 a bottle. I was like, perfect. I looked at the bottle, came back to the office. We had Nicole design a label, and literally we bought, 30 bottles of the champagne. We still have one here. Actually, got 2 cases. So we had the National Social Media Day down at the bottom there. You can see the label. We closed notes. And then on the back, we also slapped a sticker on that as well that I was able to get rushed ordered from Sticker Mule. Okay? So we throw these in a goodie bag. We knocked it off. Literally find out it's the talk of the whole event. Christine Haas, who was the moderator, used to be with the local NBC affiliate. We had over 100,000 views as of now on the live stream for that, which was like 6 hours. But my bottles got brought up more often than not. The people that had the goodie bags, they took pictures of themselves drinking it and hashtagging it. So we got some great marketing for less than $500 with the bottles. Yeah, less than $500 marketing piece, but it worked really, really well. And I actually got a little bit extra time to speak at the event. That was awesome. Now, we've used that before. We thought that's a great tactic as well. We've used that when we, especially at New Year's, not yours, but Christmas, we took the whole Quest IRA, their company, all 75 employees, bottles of champagne. We slapped their custom label on it as well, thanking them. I mean, that was ended up being a couple grand to do, but it was so well worth it because it's our vendors. And now anytime I call over, they're like, oh, hey, you're the champagne guy. Hey, glad to help you out. So that's helped us with our funding and helped us get things fun and faster. Just a lot of great stuff with that stuff there as well. So those are probably our best 9 or 10 deals that we have done as far as marketing on our events, and it's worked out really, really well for a lot of that stuff. So I wanted to kind of open up here for those that might have any questions. It's important to just kind of think outside the box if you can. You guys all see something that you like. We went and saw The Greatest Showman again last night with Hugh Jackman talking about P.T. Barnum and the origination of circus. And I see myself being a little bit of a circus, actually a little bit of P.T. Barnum in me and stuff like that. But the thing that you want to keep in mind more than anything else is it's okay to be yourself. You don't have to be the bearded lady or the guy with 3 legs or whatever to stand out. You can do some cool stuff outside the box, marketing-wise, to really share your message, share what you got going on. I mean, we have used our calendar, especially Halloween, deals that we killed, to talk about bad deals. you never know without asking. We've been asked to speak at different events like Halloween Horror, not Halloween Horror Night, but the Halloween festival at Quest before. Just asking to speak. Sometimes, see what's available can often come in and play really, really well with you guys out there and make some things happen. So, yes, Stephanie says on here, we got many conferences relevant to the note industry have been held and are held in Las Vegas. Exactly. So that's why we go out and see shows. I've seen some stuff at Cirque du Soleil that I thought would be kind of cool. I just can't bend over backwards to touch my own ass. All right. Laura loves the blueberry note closure. That's great. Exactly, Steph. Be creative, think out of the box to connect with people in your audience. Look, we all have different things that we work on. I mean, and if you can have something work out well to share what you got going on, share it. Steph cracked up at me when we were in the Finals for Friends Network in St. Mark, and we're walking back to the boat, and I see a brand new built one stall, one little shack toilet there. I was like, oh, I'll jump and take a quick photo that make me like my new office. Yeah, that is kind of fun, funky, and it's just poking fun at things, but it gets people talking. And it's okay to be yourself, to make things happen for you. Because that's, look, nobody's going to promote your business besides you. Nobody's going to take you serious unless you're doing these things on a semi-regular basis. You can do it once or twice, but then people are going to miss out. So when I talk about marketing, the things you can do that, let's look at your calendar. All right. Every month has one or two holidays that you can talk about. January, we can talk about New Year, resolutions, new investments. Here in literally 2 weeks from today, we have Valentine's Day. Fall in love with notes. All right, fall in love with your investments. Okay, those are some really great things that you can do to share that will help drive traffic to get people paying attention to you. March, we have St. Patrick's Day. April Fools. Tax Day is a great way. Here's your tax workout. May, Memorial Day. June, even June, President's Day or something like that. I don't remember. 4th of July. August, going back to school. September, we have Labor Day, Patriots Day. October, Halloween. November, Thanksgiving. December, Christmas. Hanukkah. Those are all great things that you can use to market your business. One of the things that a lot of realtors talk about is having the multiple touch points. You want to have at least 12 to 13 touch points with your clients every month. Okay. June is Father's Day. Thank you. May would be Mother's Day. Okay. Thanks, Steph. Thing I want you to talk about and look at, think is, look, that's the minimum. There's at least one holiday for every month. That's 12 weeks of content right there. That's something if you roll into. Then if you figure out movies, some of your favorite movies, we got Scarface coming out. They've got the new Ant-Man coming out. Somebody did a creative thing. I think it was, I can't remember who it was, created Note Man. Look, I do not have the market cornered on using movie titles. Yes, we've used Note Wars and the Note Jedi and that kind of stuff to really attract attention on t-shirts. That has helped out tremendously to a lot of people raising capital. I know JR, one of our mastermind students, was walking the beach in Fort Myers with a Note Wars t-shirt on, yelling. Somebody asked him about it. The guy it started a conversation, and it led to the guy investing $500,000 with him. That's what marketing is all about, is getting people to avert their attention for a few minutes to you, and then they'll end up doing more. And the more that you do, the more it compounds and exponentially grows, because they see, oh, I'm going to go to your Instagram page, or I'm going to go to your Facebook page, or I'm going to go to you and follow you on your podcast or your LinkedIn. It's okay to share this stuff. Some people are so serious, and in today's world, oh my gosh, this world is way too serious. I will tell you that right now, way too serious. Of society, we need to laugh a little bit more. We need some laughing gas. We need a little bit more wine and a little bit more blueberry in our diet to make things a little bit more effective today, everybody. Okay? Questions, comments, anybody listening out there, anybody watching out there on Facebook Live this morning? Once again, if you are listening to us on iTunes and Stitcher, thank you. Thank you. You can always catch us video replays by going to weclosenotes.tv to take a look at all our 1,100 plus videos that we have online. I just saw that the other day, 1,100 plus videos. Video is a great way to help market yourself, and it could be about a variety of things. Your frequently asked questions, your things you've learned the most. Look, there is no wrong answer when it comes to marketing. The only wrong answer is not doing it something. Okay? And we all have different things. Some you like to cook, cooking with notes. You know, here's how you cook up a good return. Smell the returns. You know, that actually might be a good one. I might need to get a cook hat and talk about the ingredients. Ingredients of a good note deal. I just came up with that. That's the one we're going to use. Ingredients in a good note deal. How to bake a cake. You see, chef's hat, chef's clothes, la. I crack myself up sometimes, everybody. So, but look, sometimes, like I said, if you see something, it draws your attention, grab it. Grab it. Put your twist on it, okay? Steph asked a question here. Great question. How do you prime the creative pump if you're in a slump or pressed for time and drawing a blank? What are some of the things you do to recharge and get a fresh take? We all do that sometimes. Yeah, you're exactly right. I had a chance to meet Mark Victor Hansen a few years back. And when I was an early entrepreneur, 2001, 2002, I used to listen to a lot of books on tapes, a lot of motivational speakers on tapes. You know, they talk about making your car a classroom. And so I had Mark Victor Hansen's tapes, and I listened to it over and over and over again. And I got a chance to meet him a few years later, and I was just excited to meet him. And I shared with him, hey, man, I used to listen to this tape series all the time. I actually wore the tapes out. I'd go buy a new set because we wore it out. And he started chuckling. And I said, what's so funny? He goes, well, I was at one of my lowest points when I created that. One of my lowest points, and it pulled me out of a slump. Okay? I was like, wow, that was amazing, because I was at one of my lowest points when I started listening to that stuff, and it helped pull me out of the slump. So if you're in a slump, get away. If you're head down, so focused on something, you're drawing a blank, the best thing I can tell you to do is get up and walk away. Go do something. Go to a movie. Go hang out somewhere. Go get you a beer. Just relax. Get your mind fresh, because sometimes you need to shake it up. All right? In the words of Taylor Swift, shake it off. Shake it off. All right? So that's why I like it. Sometimes movies are great. I'll put on movies at the house sometimes and just let it run. You know, Reservoir Dogs, Reservoir Notes. You know, those are some of the things that I just like. I look at what's doing well. One of the things that I was drawing a blank one week. One Sunday night, I hadn't sent any emails out for our Note Night in America. I was literally drawing a blank of what the hell to talk about. And I was like, I started flipping through my photos on my phone, my images and things like that. What are some things that I've seen that have drawn my attention? All right. And I came across a picture that Steph had somebody create where she took my face and put it on top of Ryan Reynolds' body, or as a Chippendale's body, as motivation to put on for the new year. I'm like, oh, I could get six-pack abs. I could do that. It should take a bit of time. I was like, oh, strip down. What am I go for? Marketing. We'll do strip down marketing. That's a great idea. Great image. I had to go to the well to use that was my ace in the hole, and I have a bunch of different ace in the hole. But we sent that out. It was great. It was a great image for stuff like that. So when you are struggling, look at stuff that you like, stuff that cracks you up. Talk about some things that you're struggling with. Share the struggle. Hashtag embrace the suck. Okay. Actually, you know, read books or things that will make you feel good. Jack Canfield actually wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul. Is who wrote Chicken Soup, and we got a chance to meet Jack Canfield as well. But just share the story. Sometimes sharing the struggle is a good thing. We've shared the struggle when we're struggling through things. Definitely have. And so one of my favorite things is I like fruit, blueberries. Obviously, I like to go get a pomegranate and I'll break it apart and eat it individually. Black cherries are one of my favorite things. I often get a lot of great ideas just sitting there. Going around the water. I think you've all heard or experienced the power of water, whether you get your best ideas in the shower. I'll get my best ideas just sitting, looking at water, or in the water, or floating around. I got to be in the water when I'm on vacation. It's relaxing, but it's also clearing. And Steph can vouch for this because we've been to some places where it's been storming and raining outside, and my crazy ass, I'm going down to the beach, I'm jumping in the water. And I like to feel the waves crashing and trying to suck me out in the undertow. That's just a great thing to do. If you can get away from everything, stress relief, turn the voices off in your head is great. Going and get a massage is another great thing that some people do. I have enjoyed going to the sleep deprivation chamber or the noise deprivation chamber a couple times and letting my mind go quiet. got some great ideas out of that. Just if it's doing something, sometimes sporting events is a great one to go to. We've got a big one coming up, obviously, when called, Super Bowl. And do I have something up my sleeves for the Super Bowl? You better believe your ass I do. All right? You definitely better believe your ass that I've got something lined up for the Note Bowl. I'm sorry, the Super Bowl. Okay? Christina says here, hey, good morning, Christina. Love it. Great ideas for our Note Investors group that meets here in San Antonio. We've had a big slump in our meeting since last October. We want to do more together in 2018. We're very small, just a few people so far. But are looking to expand it so we can get more folks together who are interested in notes. Okay, so this is what I would do, Christine, if I were you, with your group down in San Antonio. Okay? One, if you have not created a meetup group for your group, you need to do that, because that will help you automatically share some things in there. Second thing, create an event on Facebook or use Eventbrite. I just found out that, I've used Eventbrite for events, but you can use recurring events. So we've been using that for some stuff. It's already seen some great feedback from that. Another thing, if you're in San Antonio, find out when the Alamo RIA or the Soria meetings are going, the two biggest investment clubs. Go there and ask if you can get up and talk about, hey, we're doing a special meeting just for those that are investing in notes or interested in notes. Those couple things combined together will help you grow your little group. Because I get it, you got 4 or 5 people that's barely on the verge of being a meetup group. But if you go out and talk to the groups, I guarantee Soria doesn't focus on notes. Victor Moss doesn't really focus on notes because it doesn't pay his title company that he has as his focus for business. And if you talk to Alamo RIA, they occasionally have note investors come through there and talk about it. But I guarantee Tom Hennigan, who runs that group, started that group, actually started the National RIA group. Great guy, interested in notes, does some great stuff. So those are 2 things that I would recommend for you. Just getting out and networking, not being afraid to stand up in front of the crowd is one thing you got to do. And I know public speaking is not the easiest thing for most people. I get it. Trust me. It's 30 seconds. Nobody's going to shoot you at all. And I'm struggling with one thing right now. I have I'm speaking next week in Orlando at the Podfest, and I'm trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to talk about in my time slot. What I'll probably talk about is the growth of this podcast. We've done some marketing wise, give me some tips. May talk about the marketing octagon. But that's the thing. Sometimes when you're starting off, when you get out, just get up and don't be afraid to get up in front of people. Get up and say something. I know it's not easy. Prepare notes, what you're going to talk about. Keep it short and sweet, but prepare, practice to be struggle. And that's one of the best things to help draw people. Because literally, I guarantee people are looking for notes. People are looking for better returns. Steph had several conversations this morning with fix and flippers who can't find deals, but they're too busy with that stupid mindset to understand the note game. So, but if there's no any other questions or comments or anything from anybody out there, guys. Any other questions for you guys, from you guys out there and what's we talked about today? So if not, doesn't look like there is. You guys, it's Hump Day Wednesday. It's the last day of January. 2018 is 1/12 of the way done. 1/12 of the way done. Are you a 12th of the way closer to your goals for the year? I wrote down some goals, and I already had one accomplished pop up yesterday. This is kind of funny. When we went on the cruise and then like that, I got back after the cruise and I want to go spend some time in the Bahamas. I don't want to go on Castaway Cay and the Disney thing, or I don't want to just swing through, a port that Royal Caribbean or Carnival has. I want to go hang out in the Bahamas for a couple of days. And lo and behold, I get a phone call from an investor who's been wanting me to come on his event for Memorial Day weekend. I always have something planned that weekend because it's birthday weekend. And so I just simply asked him, what else do you have that you're doing? Do you have a webinar we're going to be on? Do you have another event? Well, he goes, I do this the breakout session, kind of mastermind this getaway to every January. We're doing the next one in the Bahamas. I said, oh, I would love to come to that, speak at that. Because you would? Look it. So literally on the calendar, big letters, literally wrote in permanent marker, is this thing, Bahamas, January 16th to the 19th. Don't know exactly what it all is. I just know I'm speaking there, and I'm excited about it because I'm going to combine a little thing. But you can expect some marketing for that to go into place. I'll figure some stuff out. Give me a year. Trust me. I'm almost like Hannibal Lecter. Give me a month. Give me an hour. I'm good. Give me a day. I'm even better. Give me a week. I'm unstoppable. Give me a month. There's no way you're going to win. And that's the beautiful thing about marketing is it builds, it builds, it builds. And the more you do it, the better you get. The more you work that muscle, the better it's going to get with muscle memory, and things are going to pop up. Okay, things are going to pop up to make things happen. All right. I heard a great one that hopefully Elise and Daphne are using for this last fast track. Hopefully they're using it. If they're not using it, shame on them, because they better be. Well, otherwise, we're going to use it here in the next few weeks. So, otherwise, guys, that's all I've got for you today. I hope this episode was valuable to you all, sharing some of our successes. I mean, we've had marketing things we sent out that just bombed. Nobody responded. Greatest idea ever. You're going to have some strikeouts along the way. Don't be afraid to swing and miss. It's okay to be mighty Casey and strike out occasionally. All right. So Babe Ruth didn't hit a home run at bat every time. Barry Bonds didn't hit a home run every time. Those guys may have hit the most home runs, but they may have also struck out the most, set a record for that stuff. So keep that in mind with your marketing and your note business and your other real estate stuff that you're going on. So once again, thank you guys for listening today. You're on iTunes, Stitcher, and all those great podcast platforms, and you love the episode, make sure to leave a 5-star review. Make sure to share the show with other people as well. If you're watching this on Facebook Live and this is valuable, please do me a favor. Go ahead and share this to your platform. Share this to your page, your timeline. Love to have that as we grow and share our message out there across the beautiful thing of the internet, social media, and marketing. So have a great day, guys, everybody. Go make something happen. Don't let this someday pass you by. If you're not further along in your goals for the year, get started. You can always start today. We'll see you all at the top, everybody. Bye.